Simraid YT, and today we're going to be doing the Doom Tower. Before we go into the Doom Tower, we'll just check out the Great Hall so you can see what levels I'm at on the Great Hall, so you can see what I can achieve, what levels in the game. As you can see, I've put a lot of effort into the Void at this stage and for the accuracy on the Void, but we're building yellows as we go along. The champions we'll be using will be Mother Cybele. She'll be going the lead with her because she gives additional speed of 24%. Her skills are Master of Dread. As you can see, I've got it booked out. It attacks all enemies, has a 25% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Her Soul Shepherd places a Revive on Death buff and a 60% increased defense buff on allies for 2 turns. And Uncanny Transfer. This will give her, if she has more health than another champion on your team, you can do the swap over and swap their health across. Mastery, she's been built out for offense and defense, as you can see here. Next, another champion on the team will be using Solus. He'll be used as a nuker. He's the same building offense and defense movements. So yeah, he'll be there for a lot of skill, for a lot of attack in our team. His skills are Bewildering Blow. Attacks one enemy, has a 35% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. And you can see I booked him out as well. Attacks all enemies on his Reign of Terror, increases the duration of all debuffs on each target by 1 turn. Then places a Provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn, places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns equals to 30% of the damage inflicted. Damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. Wave of Despair. Attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 75% chance to remove all buffs. Also places Provoke debuff for 1 turn if a buff was removed by this skill. The Provoke debuff cannot be resisted, and then his aura won't matter because he's not in the lead anyway. Another champion on the team will be Madame Ceres. For her masteries, we build her out in defense and support because she's really there for her buffs, so really for what we're going to use. She's booked out as well. Panic Spread. Attacks one enemy, has a 20% chance of placing a fear debuff for 1 turn. This chance increases to 30% if the target is under 1 debuff. This chance increases to 45% if the target is under 2 or more debuffs. Midnight Ritual decreases attack and decreases defense. Removes all buffs from enemies, then places a 50% decrease attack debuff and 60% decrease defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Trick or Treat. Attacks all enemies, has a 40% chance of stealing 1 random buff from each target, places a block debuff, buff on all allies for 2 turns if any buff is stolen, places a True Fear debuff for 1 turn on enemies who have buff stolen. And she's booked out as well. Witch's Grace places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn. When attacked while under a shield buff, has a 35% chance of placing a fear debuff on attackers for 1 turn. We will have AOX in here as well. His masteries, he's put in some offense and support because he's there to heal and give health to our other champions. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 10% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. Places a 50% decreased attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Also has a 75% chance of decreasing each enemy's turn meter by 20%. Places a 30% decreased critical rate debuff on the target for 2% for 2 turns if they have a 50% or more turn meter after turn meter decreases. Lure of Restoration. This is what he's really in the team for. He attacks 1 enemy, then heals all allies by 10% of their max HP. Heals each ally by an extra 2.5% for each debuff on the target, and I have him booked out as well. And then increases the duration of 2 random debuffs on the attacker by 1 turn when attack occurs once per hit. As you can see here, we have him up. Critical damage 79, but his crit rate's important to make it so his turns at 224. His accuracy is 224, so it's pretty good rate for at this stage. And then we have Royal Guard. Now, Royal Guard skills, he's going to be another nuker in the team. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense buff for 2 debuff for 2 turns. And you can see I've got him booked out. His hamstring attacks 4 times at random. Each hit has a 60% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Each hit also has a 60% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 25%. But this is his most important one, is his takedown. Attacks all enemies, damage increases according to the enemy max HP. And you can see I've got the additional books on here. His masteries, he is set up under offense to give the additional attack and some support. And that's how we'll be doing the start of the Doom Towers. And we'll be doing just the normal first. Floor 23 of the Doom Tower. We have Mother Cybele in the lead with additional speed of 24% for her in the team. Madame Ceres with her buffs and debuffs. AOX with his healing abilities. And then our 2 nukers of Solus and Royal Guard. Mother Cybele always leads off because she's the fastest champion in our team. We have plenty of buffs occurring there and debuffs. Always the first 2 rounds are often pretty quick with these at the lower levels. And the nukers really helped finish off. That was floor 23 with a reward of 3-star rank charm used to increase its chance of crafting higher rank artifacts in the forge. And that was floor 23. Thank you.